Hey guys, it's Paradise, and with over 10 million players joining the fray in Marvel Rivals this weekend, the competition is heating up. But don't worry, because we've got some absolutely cracked tips to help you get the extra edge in battle to dominate your games. We've got a mix of general tips and character-specific tips, so be sure to drop a like below if you learn something new, and we've even got some awesome examples from the community in here as well. And you can share your handy tips down below, which just might end up in the next video. Straight out of the gate, we've got to talk about Destructible cover. I'm sure many of you will have noticed, but if not, it's good to know that many parts of the map can be destroyed when attacked. But we've never seen people doing this using chronovision to identify what exactly can be destroyed. By pressing B or right on the D-pad on console, this will highlight all destructible elements of the map. This is very important to know because it lets you access flank spots that most people won't be expecting this early in the game. With this, you can bring down entire sections of the map, making it much harder for your enemies to push and just overall changing the battlefield. Our second tip is handy for those of you who like to go solo. Marvel Rivals is of course a team game, and at the end of the day, communication is going to be key to outplaying the enemy, with the game even having built-in synergies between characters in the form of team-ups to really cement this point. But what a lot of people don't realize is that you can actually request specific team-ups that work with your chosen character. All you have to do is mouse over the team-up icon with the hero that you want and select, and then press the middle mouse button. This will send a ping to your team, telling them exactly what you're trying to do and hopefully inspiring them to take action and team up. Next, however, it's good to know about the sheer breadth and width of the customization options available in the game. Each hero has their own options screen that not only lets you set a custom control profile for that character, but you're also able to customize how specific parts of their kit will control. By going into the settings menu and clicking on keyboard, you can choose a specific hero to customize by clicking this button here. From here, scroll down to the heroes section and you'll get loads of different options for that specific hero. Some examples include a confirmation option for Loki's ultimate, changes to how wall running and crawling works for characters that can do so, as well as some more complex options for things like web swinging. This brings us to our next tip though. This is one of the more impactful examples of customizing your hero settings. Both of our web slinging characters, Spider-Man and Venom, have settings in the options that affect their swinging. The easy swinging option is on by default, and this can really mess up your ability to travel the map how you want to. By turning these off, it allows you to have greater control over where you want to swing from, which can really help you be consistent when swinging on these characters. But next up is a tip for Hulk. We've never really seen anyone taking advantage of this, but when using your Incredible Leap ability, jumping on a wall and holding down the same button will let you latch onto the wall. This is amazing for climbing tall surfaces or for simply getting a better look over the battle. You can pretty much hang like this forever, and even charge an additional leap while doing so, which can make it much easier to catch flying targets. Speaking of flying targets though, we have our first community tip. This one comes from the Reddit user HimArmor and shows us that the Incredible Leap ability can actually interrupt ultimates like Scarlet Witch's, making it an invaluable tool for protecting your team in this scenario. Our second community tip comes from the Big Germ on Twitter, and this shows us that by using Cloak and Dagger's dark teleportation ability, you can actually dodge out of Jeff's infamous ultimate. Jeff has been a real menace over the course of the game's release with that ult, so we're happy to see that there's a reliable way to combat this powerful ultimate that Jeff has. There's another trick for Cloak and Dagger mains though. It's actually possible to use the dark teleportation ability to fly for a short period of time. By holding down space when using this ability, you can float in the air similar to how Iron Man and Storm do. This makes the ability even better for escaping dangerous situations. And next up, we've got Captain America, who has the unique ability to reflect projectiles back at your enemies. But did you know he can actually reflect Iron Man's invincible pulse cannon as well? By using his Living Legend ability after an enemy like Iron Man uses their ultimate, not only protects your team, but also changes it into your projectile, allowing it to do damage to your enemies and even kill them instead. While you can't aim exactly where this goes, sending such a powerful resource back at the enemy team is enough for Iron Man players to think twice about ulting anywhere near Captain America. Let's talk about Psylocke's wing shurikens though, as they are much more complex than they first seem. By pressing the button to recall them back to you, this actually causes the shurikens to first fly where you're aiming and then return to you. While it can be tricky to pull off, this is excellent for dealing damage to multiple targets, assuming that you can position correctly. On top of that, dashing after sending out your shurikens will pull them directly to where you move to, making it really cool to set up complex damage traps with this ability. But for any Groot mains out there, we have another useful tip. Did you know you can use your walls to gain height, simply by placing the Thorn Lash or Ironwood walls beneath you, allowing you to ride up with them? You can use this to displace enemies as well, although it can be a little tricky, but it's a good thing to know. And next is for anyone that plays Moonknight. His grapple is a useful tool for traveling around the map, but did you know you can make it even better? By grappling directly on the ground, you will instead bounce high in the air at a much faster speed than just grappling. This can be a great way to set up to use your Night Glider to make a clean escape. Keeping with our movement theme, we also have a technique for any Spider-Man players. By using the previous tip of turning off auto swinging, you can now actually pull yourself towards the ground with his web swing. If you then jump and web swing towards the ground and then shoot out one of your web clusters just before you hit the ground, you can jump and conserve the momentum from your web swing ability, allowing you to essentially rocket across the field. This is an amazing technique for when you're in a tight spot that makes swinging normally impossible. This includes narrow corridors and small rooms, but it does take a little practice, so be sure to get in your reps before you do it in a full match, but this is crazy for mobility. But now we have one for anyone who plays the Punisher. By using your Vantage Connection ability, you can actually slingshot well past the limits of the zipline. By positioning this near the edge of a wall, you can jump off right before the end to keep the momentum, allowing you to fly a much further distance. The main condition to get this to work is that the zipline needs to be at an upwards angle, as if it's pointed down, it doesn't seem to give you that same speed boost. So point it diagonally up and get that extra distance with your zipline. Well, that's quite a few tips for you here, and make sure to tell us yours down below, and if you would like to see more useful tip videos like this. We'd love to showcase some more of the stuff you guys have been cooking, so tell us down below. Here at Arekkz Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 26.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.